Today's episode is presented by The Skin Store. For over 20 years, The Skin Store has been the #1 destination for premium skincare, hair care, and beauty products. With over 8,000 different products from 300 different brands, The Skin Store has you covered for all your hair, cosmetics, supplements, and of course, skincare needs. Find your favorite brands like Altie, NuFace, Olaplex, and more all in one place with gifts with every purchase. Right now, the Skin Store is offering our listeners 20% off your next purchase by using the code POD. That's code POD for 20% off your next purchase at skinstore.com/pod.list. Skin Store. Have the confidence to tackle the day ahead. Exclusions apply. Captain's Log, the podcast devoted to discussions and insights into the supernatural, occult, and all-around strange happenings of our world.
I think
Our goal?
there's someone in the house with us.
To entertain and disturb, perhaps like no one has before.
I warn you, this could scare you, as the sound bothers me to listen to. It has always haunted me. What you are about to hear is very disturbing indeed.
Start date 03/28/2021. Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic, energetic, and invigorating episode of Captain's Log. Trying to be more positive lately, so we'll see how this goes. This is your captain speaking, Jose Valle Jr., coming at you from the state where Kevin Bacon wasn't allowed to dance, Utah. And joining me virtually from a shed in rural Iowa is my co-host and first officer, Mr. Mason Schrader. Hello, Mason. How are you on this fine day?
Hello, Jose. How are you?
What's going on here? You droopy dog or you have tobacco in your mouth? Which one is it?
I'm also trying to be more positive.
I love it. This is fantastic.
I'm just kidding. It's me. Hi.
Oh my god, it's regular Mason. Oh, yes, he's back.
That's not my voice. I fooled you, you dumbass.
Fuck. I've only heard your voice 1,000 times, but for a second I was like, yeah, this is what he normally sounds like, right?
Yeah. I'm good, Jose. Hello.
Hello. How's the weather, Mason?
It's warmer.
How about that airplane food, huh? I'm trying to do some banter here.
I don't get it. I've never flown. I'm on a no-fly list.
Oh.
I'm on not a no-fly list. I'm
You're
on the
no-fly list.
Yes.
Max, friend of the show, and I were having a conversation the other day. I was telling him about I went to a soccer game, and the referee walked over to the crowd and was like, "How's everybody doing? Everybody wearing their masks?" And we all were. And then he goes, "Everybody believe in wearing their masks?" And I was like, what is going on? But the way he which, that's a whole thing. We don't have to get into that. But the way he presented it sounded like he was doing a stand-up routine. Like he was trying his COVID stand-up routine on us. Just like,
sure
how's everybody doing, huh? How's everybody wearing their masks, huh? Yeah. Everybody believe in wearing their masks? Come on, this guy over here gets it. Masks, folks. What are you gonna do, huh? And like he was gonna go into this whole fucking COVID-19.
Shut up.
Anyway, yeah. So that's new
Ref
with me.
the game.
I just was like, what? I'd turned to my buddy and I was like, what the fuck is this? What is he doing? What the fuck is the point of this? Well, today we continue our Unsolved US series with part 5 of our Sinister Stories of the Southeast. Today, we are taking a look at the southernmost states of Georgia and Florida. If you're joining us for the first time and have no idea what's going on, take a breath and go listen to part 1 of this portion of our series, and it'll all be okay. If you're not new, thank you for continuing on this journey with us. A special thanks to our international listeners. We recently got some new downloads in another European country, which is crazy. You guys are fucking insane for listening to 2 Americans talk about this.
You speak for yourself. I'm a sovereign citizen.
Sorry, one American and one sovereign
my Social Security card. I cut my license in half, okay? I'm off the grid. I don't pay my taxes. I don't think I should say that out loud.
I should let you all know a bit of a trigger warning for today's episode. It includes detailed descriptions of grave desecration, necrophilia, and violence toward newborns. So
it's not funny. So it's just I didn't know any of that. So, well, does that mean I can just leave?
No, it's okay. We'll still make jokes about it, but if people can't handle those topics,
what if I can't? What if I'm triggered?
You don't get to be triggered on this podcast. I'm sorry, Mason. This podcast doesn't care about your triggers specifically. Everybody else's, though, we're conscious of, but not yours.
Well, fair enough.
So yeah, if you can't handle that, you might want to skip over those legends. I will include asterisks next to them in the episode description, so you know which ones they are and which ones to skip over.
Or if you're really crazy, you'll know which ones to skip too.
There you go. If you're a fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
If you're some disgusting pervert, then yeah, that's for you.
I'm tired of talking about fun and lizards. I want to hear about gross.
I want to hear about necrophilia. Somebody writes a review and they're like, this show is good, except for the fact that they never talk about necrophilia. More necrophilia content, please. And we're like, Jesus
finally,
fucking Christ.
An episode for the rest of us. Mason and Jose's most recent foray into the topic of necrophilia really tickled my funny bone. 5 out of 5 stars.
That person's our biggest Patreon patron, so we won't talk.
We don't feel great about it, but he pays us a lot.
He pays the bills, so. But with that out of the way, Mason, let's start the mystery hog. And hit the road. That's what I named our motorcycle. What do you think of that?
That sounds really. I really like the mystery hog.
So yeah. Let's go ahead. All right. I put my helmet on. I've given you a smooch on the cheek, and I'm like, go ahead.
It's getting hot. We're gonna have to we have to change out of our winter mystery hunting clothes and into our summer mystery hunting clothes.
Yeah,
what is sexy little shorts?
To our sexy little shorts and our Hawaiian shirts, but instead of Hawaiian flowers, it's like little cryptids.
Ooh,
those actually sound cool.
Cool shirt.
I kind of want one.
I want one now. Yeah.
All right. After encountering NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal in a lizard suit on the side of the road, we have headed further south to the Peach State of Georgia.
It's me, Shaquille O'Neal. All right, guys, drive safe.
I'm just wearing a lizard suit. It's never not going to be funny.
I went back and listened to that, and that cracked me up.
Ernie, you're never going to believe this, Ernie. Thought it was a lizard.
Mason, I hope you're in the mood for a splash because we're having a lake day.
Yay! First day of summer, first lake day of the podcast.
We're heading to the party spot of Lake Lanier, a man-made lake within the Georgia wilderness. Unfortunately, this is more of a Scooby-Doo movie lake day because this lovely little spot for drinking and boating is also home to a female specter, and according to lore has been the site of far too many deaths to not be haunted.
I just want to say that I would love Lake Day a billion times more if all the lake days were Scooby-Doo lake days. I fucking hate just hanging out at lakes.
Oh, for sure, right? I want to be swimming, and then there's a body part, and we have to solve the mystery.
If we had to solve a goddamn ghost mystery every time I was at the lake, I would like the lake so much more.
They always trick. I know that like Scooby and Shaggy are dumb, but they always trick those poor bastards. Like they're always like, guys, we're gonna take a break from the mysteries. Let's go to the lake, and they're like, oh yay! And then they're like, we're actually here to investigate the murder.
To be fair, though, those motherfuckers, they work at a mystery. They could get a fucking. They could get another fucking job. Also, working at a snack stand in like Long Beach. You know what I mean?
No. They're the laziest fucks ever, and they get to just be brought, because one is a dog and the other's the dog's owner. They get to just be brought along for the ride and get paid to just fucking fuck around and eat and occasionally solve some mysteries.
They have the dream job.
Fucking dream job.
And they never even solve the biggest mystery of all, which is why their fucking dog talks.
Yeah, what the fuck is up with that? We don't have to get into that. Anyway, we'll do a whole episode on that. The lake was created by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in the 1950s by flooding various different valley communities after they were bought up by the government.
That's just what I want in a lake is a government army made lake.
Right? This was done to provide Atlanta and the surrounding counties with power and water. Although the government is adamant that all the bodies within cemeteries were properly moved, many believe that unmarked graves were left behind along certain structures that now lie beneath the water. But the government has never lied about these things, so why would they start lying now?
It's not even like they've never lied. It's more just like, they're just dudes, so it's like very easily, the government employees that were in charge of this are not like some tops level secret.
No, they're just grunts.
They're like us being like, did you make sure we got all the bodies?
And I'm like, oh, that's what I was supposed to do. You think it's going to be like a big deal? I think it's fine, right? If we don't tell them, they won't know.
I think if we just don't tell anybody, I don't want to get yelled at again, do you?
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Right, okay, cool. Yeah, no, they're all gone here. Cleaned them all
Everything
up.
Is okay.
Everybody.
Over the years, stories began to come in about strange sightings and incidents at the lake. Stories range from giant catfish being spotted under the surface to feeling disembodied body parts floating around the murky water.
One of those is much creepier than the other.
Yes. There have been 203... I'm just swimming and I'm like, what? It kind of feels like a dick down here. What the fuck is this? I am definitely grasping a dick right now, guys.
Oh, that's just the water dick. Yeah, don't worry about that. What I'm afraid of are these giant-ass fucking catfish.
Yeah.
It's like 20 pounds.
You're just fucking swimming and you accidentally eat a disembodied ass.
Oh, gross.
What the fuck? Wait, what was that? Hang on, I recognize that. I didn't like that. There have been 203 deaths at the lake between 1994 and October of 2020, according to Mark McKinnon of the Georgia Department of Natural Resources. There are two popular legends surrounding this lake. The first concerns the giant catfish, which lurk in the murky depths.
Sure.
Legend goes that one day a truck carrying chickens was traveling over Thompson Bridge when it got into an accident and unfortunately tipped over and spilled some of the chickens into the lake. Witnesses reported seeing the chickens disappear under the water quickly, so some divers decided to investigate what had happened to those lost chickens and the wreckage from the truck. What they found was not remotely close to what they were expecting. It appears that the chickens had been consumed by giant catfish living in the lake. Catfish the size of a Volkswagen Beetle.
Well,
yeah.
No, none of that ever happened.
No, man, it did.
No, none of that happened. That's just a big catfish. That's not even a good... None of that happened.
Yeah, I was going to say, legend doesn't explain how these catfish got to be this size, but simply warns of the dangers of going swimming in the lake. Now,
so
catfish...
what assholes were like, those chickens disappeared so fast? Get my wetsuit.
Right?
We have to investigate this.
So catfish can grow to like 100 and something pounds. I think the biggest one... Okay, yeah, see, I'm looking at a picture of Mekong giant catfish. And they can grow to nearly 9 feet long, as big as a grizzly bear, with weighing 646 pounds.
I mean, that's longer than a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah, that's longer. That's not as big as a Volkswagen Beetle. It's big, though. I'm looking at pictures of the people holding them. They're big. But they're, like, only found in certain... No, this is not what's happening. This legend is no. Nah. It's no. Anyway, this fucking... Whoa, what happened to those chickens?
I
don't know, hang on, I happen to have my wetsuit with me.
Well, this is a classic case of... It's either A, a ghost, or it's B, giant catfish.
The thing is, the part that was funniest to me about this legend was the idea of a chicken truck spilling chickens.
Yeah, well, I mean, we didn't even talk about that.
It happens a lot more than you'd think, because when I was doing the research, there was a ton of news stories about actual chicken trucks tipping over and just dead chickens everywhere. It happened. An actual case of this did happen on this bridge, where a truck did actually tip over and spill some chickens. I mean, they died. They weren't eaten by catfish, and this was more recent than when this legend is supposed to take place. But yeah, it's a real occurrence, man. It's a real fucking danger. Be careful when you're driving next to chicken trucks. The second story of this lake concerns the spirit of a young woman seen around the lake who has been dubbed the Lady of Lake Lanier. This legend begins with the very real disappearance of two girls, Delia Parker Young and Susie Roberts, in 1958. The two young women had sped out of a gas station in a 1954 Ford and were headed to Three Gables Roadhouse. They were never seen again. At least, not alive. After 18 months after their disappearance, a local fisherman spotted the decomposing body of a young woman underneath Jerry D. Jackson Bridge. The bloated body was floating on the surface, missing 2 toes from its left foot.
Why didn't the catfish eat him? Eat the body.
Well, yeah. While its arms buoyed without hands, perhaps lost to the digestive tract of the lake's catfish.
They just ate I
just
guess
the
they
toes
could.
and
they
hands.
may have eaten.
Right.
Yeah, that I guess, yeah.
The coroner could not identify the body, but locals were certain it was the body of Delia Parker Young. They knew it was Delia because many had seen her wandering at night, a handless, ghostly apparition, seemingly searching for something or someone.
I don't think that's gonna hold up in court.
No, I saw her once. I was.
You
driving.
saw the victim?
Yes, but hang on.
Alive?
As a ghost. No, it was a ghost. It was walking down the road, no hands, and then they found this girl. She didn't have no hands. I was like, "It's got to be the same girl." So.
Get out. I'm gonna leave.
Am I gonna get paid for this? Am I gonna get paid at work
leave.
for coming in? Oh.
You are about to get sent to jail just because I hate you.
The tale does not end there, because by 1990, when reparations were being done to the bridge, Susie Roberts had been all but forgotten. Construction workers dredging the bottom of the lake made a shocking discovery. Filled with... That was them. That was the construction workers.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Filled with mud, half buried at the bottom of the lake, was the twisted wreckage of a 1954 Ford. Inside were the bones of Susie Roberts. Dental records matched, and thus it was officially declared that the body that was discovered in the lake in 1959, which had been sitting in an unmarked grave, was indeed the body of Delia Parker Young. But what about the Lady of Lake Lanier? Well, according to locals, she can still be spotted, wandering near the side of the bridge, handless and aimless. So, what do you think, Mason? Spooky or kooky?
I mean...
I ain't got no hands!
I just don't understand.
Where are my hands?
Yeah.
High five! Oh, wait.
I'm a little mad it didn't have more to do with the army.
Right, yeah. I mean, the stuff with the army just is basically like... Yeah, there should have been a legend related to the army.
Right,
like, well, maybe they used it as a secret site to this or that.
Yeah, to drown women.
Yeah.
For science.
For science. But what do you think, spooky or kooky? I like a lady ghost specter, but this one's just dumb.
I mean, I guess, but then again, it's also kind of spooky because it's got the real life, because there's actual, so they actually found the bodies, right? So, you know what, I'm bringing it back around. I think it is spooky because there's actual death, they actually found the girls in the lake.
Imagine being the fisherman that found that. It's gross.
Yeah, I feel like that's much scarier than some of the other ones that have been you told me this entire story and then was like, yeah, but none of that ever happened and there's no proof. Whereas this one, it's actually oh no, people died in that lake.
Yeah, no,
that body was in that lake 203 for a long time.
Deaths. This is a side of a lot of deaths.
I bet. Listen, it's a lake in Georgia. Any lake, there's a lot of alcohol and water-related
deaths. That's what
deaths.
people say, is that because it's a party spot, almost all of them have to be connected to that.
Right, but yeah.
Which I don't
so
doubt.
I lied.
Some dude having 10 beers and then he's like, all right, who wants to see me boogie board on the fucking lake? Let's go. And then just gets chopped up by the propeller or something.
That jet ski. You've never driven a jet ski before. Yeah,
but I bet I could. It can't be that hard. Just fucking rams into a rock on the fucking shore.
I think that one was a spooky.
Okay. Well, we've now made our way to Atlanta, where we will be staying the night at the Ellis Hotel. Just one little thing. This hotel was the site of one of the deadliest hotel fires in American history. So, it might get a little hot. The Ellis opened its doors in 1913, originally known as the Winecoff Hotel. At this location, on December 7th, 1946, a fire broke out. The hotel was famously advertised as being fireproof. It seems that the owners...
What the fuck?
It seems that the owner... Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, who... First off, was there so many things catching on fire at this time that they were like...
Apparently, yeah. No, this one's fireproof. No, this one's fireproof, yeah.
And also, you're just tempting fate. Did
That's
you
what I
learn
was gonna
nothing
say.
from the Titanic?
That's exactly what I have written here. Is that
Stop saying, listen, this thing may be a lot of things, but you know what it's never going to do? Never going to catch on fire, not once. Never going to catch on fire.
Oh.
It's literally impossible for this hotel to catch on fire.
Fate was
okay,
bet.
And where were you? What was your job before this? I appreciate you applying for the publicist's job at a hotel.
I ran publicity for Titanic.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Titanic, and you said what exactly about it?
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't think I remember. It's something along the lines of it was unsinkable or something. It was the greatest. I think I said it was the greatest boat ever, is what I said. So when do I start?
I'm going to be honest, Tuesday.
Okay.
That's great. I love it. We need a gimmick, and our gimmick is with a fireproof hotel.
Flash forward to to the fucking fire, and they're standing outside, and they're like, "You're fucking fired, man."
Yeah. You're fired. Get it?
Yeah.
But for real,
get the fuck out of here.
The only thing that was less fireproof than this super flammable hotel is you. You're fired. Get the fuck out of here.
So yeah, like Mason said, it seems that the owners of the 15-story building did not learn anything from the sinking of the Titanic, and that to claim something can certainly survive, the one thing that could take it down is almost like a challenge to fate.
That would be me being like, Mason Schrader could never die of liver failure. His liver will never fail. And then not tomorrow, a one time.
Oh!
Yes, just as I'm slamming Michelob Ultras, just being like, my liquor's good. I don't know if I told you my liver can never fail. And then just cut to me in the hospital being like, your liver failed, Mason.
Oh no.
How? Well, it's the copious amounts of alcohol you drink.
Oh. Okay. That night, the hotel was fully booked with Christmas shoppers, families in town to see the premiere of the totally not distasteful and racist Disney film Song of the South, and around 40 Georgia high school students in town for a mock legislative session.
Well, we're all here because this hotel can't catch on fire.
They said.
So,
the old hotel, unfortunately, did not have modern fire preventative measures and only had one stairwell that serviced all 15 floors. The reasoning,
this fucking asshole.
The reasoning. Well, I think his reasoning was like, oh, well, there's so many ways it could catch on fire that it just can't catch on fire. You know what I mean? Like it's too big to fail, kind of thing.
The floors were made out of paper and the walls were made out of gasoline. What the fuck? The fire, they'll never be able to catch on fire. It had 0 fire prevention things.
The fire began on the 3rd floor and spread quickly up, trapping everyone above it. The Atlanta Fire Department, to their credit, responded quickly to the call with 400 firefighters, 22 engine companies, and 11 ladder trucks. Unfortunately, the ladders could not reach all the way up to those trapped on the upper floors.
Not only is it completely fireproof, but also you would definitely be saved by firefighters even if it could catch on fire, which it can't.
All right.
So you don't have to worry about it.
All right, give me one room then.
Hey, Frank, listen, I think it's weird. We didn't make a fire escape, and there's the ladder. Fire truck ladders can't reach the top. Yeah, but it'll never catch on fire, so...
And if it does, it'll start... You know how things burn from the top down? There's no way it can burn the bottom up. That doesn't make any sense. Fire doesn't climb, you idiot. It's not a ghost.
It just seems like we did a lot of... we did a lot of promoting saying it can't catch on fire, but we did 0 things to keep it from catching on fire.
Hey, I'm just a publicist. All right.
It's a box of matches, Frank. We can't just let it.
And he's trying to light a cigarette. He's like,
stop. If you light that, you will burn this place to the ground. Light, and then oh.
And they could only safely catch people falling from 70 feet above the nets. So,
you don't jump.
We can't catch you. Sorry. So
you're actively moving the net when someone above 70 feet jumps.
No.
Move the net. They're jumping.
So guests began to jump or try to lower themselves with tied bed sheets. Others tried to jump the gap to the mortgage guarantee building across the alley from the Winecoff Hotel. The alley soon became filled with the bodies of those who tried and failed to make the jump. As the sun rose that morning, it revealed 120 dead. It should be noted that the Winecoff was absolutely fireproof, but its interiors were absolutely combustible. So the outside of the building was indeed fireproof, but because of all the refurbishing and all the stuff that they had put inside, it was incredibly combustible.
So it was a brick building.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
That's
Great.
it. That's it.
So,
that's all it was.
The bricks were fine. It's just everything.
But it's almost like they actively filled it with things that would catch quicker.
Listen.
Yeah.
I understand.
Uh-huh.
I understand the questions. Okay, I get it. That's why we're holding this press conference. We did say, we did say it was fireproof and could never be started on fire. But if you'll look, technically the building still standing, it didn't catch on fire. It just all the stuff in it did. So
yeah, okay. Well, you're going to jail, but you can say that to the judge. So
does the jail need a publicist? I'm thinking the first jail that never locks any doors. Huh?
Get in the fucking squad car.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Guests and hotel staff of the now Ellis Hotel have reported strange noises and other paranormal activity, with the hotel's elevators acting erratically and strangely, seemingly operating on their own.
So to be fair, their new slogan is, the world's most normal elevators. So, again...
Yeah, you're right. During the time in which renovations were done to the Ellis Hotel, workers reported finding their tools moved or missing from where they had been left. They also reported hearing voices or footsteps coming from the empty rooms. Guests have reported hearing screaming and the sounds of footsteps running in empty corridors, while others have woken up to the smell of burning or smoke in their room. Staff have also reported that calls will come in from empty rooms and the fire alarm will occasionally go off at 2:48 a.m., the time at which the fire started. Those walking the streets in front of the hotel have reported seeing the screaming faces of those who died in the fire in the windows of the hotel. What do you think, Mason? Would your Yelp review of this hotel read spooky or kooky?
I'm gonna be
Yelp
honest.
also works because you might Yelp because you're scared. You say. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Georgia seems like it's just got a lot of real tragedies.
Yeah, right? I think
it's like twice now that you've been like, so all these people gruesomely died. Anyway, and then there's been some weird stuff happening ever since. What do you think? Spooky or kooky, Mason? Spooky, I guess. It's spooky because 100 people jumped to their death.
Yeah, I think it's spooky to me. We gotta stay at this hotel. If I'm ever in Georgia, I'm staying at this fucking hotel.
That's
hopefully I jump.
Yeah.
No, wait. Fuck.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Georgia's got some bloody history, and not even just war related.
Well, that's true. Georgia's got some not so good history.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So spooky for me. Would you say spooky for you?
I'm gonna say spooky.
Move over, Nessie. There is a new water horse in town. I'm gonna. That was good.
It's a horse drowning.
With a well,
that's how water horses are made.
Yeah. With a much more complicated name, and this one is better because it's American. Near the mouth of the Altamaha River in Georgia lives a hissing sea monster named Altamaha-ha, or Altie to its friends.
Already, this is the name of something that... this is a prank name. Altamaha-ha.
This sea serpent is said to inhabit the many small streams and twisting channels of the river, especially in the areas near Darien. This strange creature is said to have a sturgeon-like body with a bony ridge at its stump.
Sturgeon-like head and a sturgeon-like limbs.
Guys, it's a sturgeon.
It's a sturgeon. That's what it is.
Front flippers with no back limbs, and it swims like a dolphin and has a snout like a crocodile, with large protruding eyes and large sharp teeth. It is reported to be of a gray or green color with a whitish yellowish underbelly. Sightings reported to be 20 to 30 feet long, although some stated it was smaller or bigger, perhaps indicating that Altie is not alone. Although no physical evidence of Altie has been found, according to some...
Get out.
How? What do you mean, dude?
No physical evidence? How?
According to some, the tale dates back centuries, with some believing the legend originated with the Lower Muskogee Creek tribe, who described a giant snake-like creature that hissed and bellowed. One of the first non-native reports of the creature came from a correspondent of the Savannah, Georgia newspaper, who reported multiple sightings of the creature in 1830. The primary eyewitness was one Captain Delano of the schooner Eagle, who claimed to have seen a large creature off of St. Simon's Island that looked to be 70 feet long and with a circumference of about the size of a barrel, which is a fun way of describing the circumference of something.
I seen the creature.
Okay, and how big would you say it was?
70 feet long.
Okay, what about, like, circumference, like width?
I mean, this is gonna be weird because I just said 70 feet, which is such an accurate description of feet, but I'm gonna go for diameter, about the size of a barrel.
Okay, yeah. All right, well, thank you for your time.
Its head looked like an alligator.
Yes, okay.
And its body looked like an alligator.
Another interview down the road with some people who say
And I say 70 feet, it was more like 8 feet long. And it had the legs of an alligator.
Sir, I think you might have seen an alligator.
I know what I saw, boy, and she was a monster.
5 other men on the schooner also reported seeing the creature, and some men on St. Simon's Island also claimed to have spotted it. In the 1920s, timbermen riding down the river saw what they claimed was a large snake-like water monster, and in 1935 a group of hunters saw what they called a giant snake swim through the river. In the 1940s, a group of Boy Scouts saw the creature, with their claim being reiterated by 2 officials from the Reidsville State Prison in the 1950s.
That Troop Scout 456, the one that went insane and murdered all those people, and are now residents of our prison. Yes, we do corroborate. They did see, in fact, that.
Yeah, we saw that shit too, yeah.
Those boys did some horrendous crimes, but
they're no liars.
One thing they didn't do was lie about seeing that monster.
Yeah. Anyway, we gotta go shock them for a little bit, so we'll be right back. In 1960, the American prison system is no joke. In 1969, 2 brothers who were fishing at Clark's Bluff saw what they initially thought was a sturgeon, but upon closer inspection realized it was some strange creature that measured 10 to 12 feet long, with a snout like an alligator and a horizontal tail.
I think sturgeon have alligator snouts.
Yeah, they've got a long snout.
I think this is a big sturgeon.
I think it's possible that this might be a big river monster sturgeon.
Yeah, I bet. I kind of think that's what it is.
They've got a kind of a weird snout kind of thing anyway, so I can totally see the confusion here. This is a big fucking sturgeon. Yeah, I'm looking at a big one right now. 3 guys holding up a sturgeon. That's a big boy.
It's probably not even the same sturgeon. It's probably just been, throughout the decades, people have been seeing big sturgeon.
Yeah. They said the creature had a triangular ridge along the top of its body and sharp pointed teeth with a metal gray color. In the summer of 1980,
Fucking sturgeon.
In the summer of 1980, 2 men stated they had seen Altamaha-ha stranded on a mud bank near Cathead Creek. They reported the animal was halfway in the water, thrashing and struggling to move itself back into the water. They said it was roughly 20 feet long and dark-colored with rough skin. While they sat and watched in amazement, the creature managed to free itself and move back into the water, disappearing from sight.
Later that year, it would have been great to live in a time before cell phones when you could just make shit up and people couldn't doubt it.
And people were like,
Because like now they'd just be like, well, let me see a picture of it.
Right.
But back then, we could have just been like, we saw a ghost with 3 dicks.
And people would be like, did you hear about those boys that saw the 3-dick ghost?
Yeah, and then other people would be like, oh, I saw the 3-dicked ghost too.
Yeah.
They call him Thricky Dicky.
Thricky Dicky. Man, we should make shirts. We should make Thricky Dicky.
Dude, Thricky Dicky shirts would be pretty good.
While they sat and watched in amazement, the creature managed to free itself and move back into the water, disappearing from sight. Later that year, in December 1980, another man reported having seen what he thought was Altamaha-ha in Smith Lake. That name, I just can't... Altamaha-ha.
Altamaha-ha.
His description said the animal was 15 to 20 feet long, snake-like with 2 brown humps that protruded from the water, and left behind a wake like that of a speedboat. A more recent report from a man in 2002 who was pulling a boat up the river near Brunswick reported seeing something over 20 feet in length and 6 feet wide break the surface. In 2010, an amateur photographer captured a video of something strange swimming in the channel near Fort King George Historic Site in Darien. People still report occasionally spotting Altamaha-ha. So what do you think, Mason?
I think it's pronounced like
I think it's Altamaha-ha.
the kid from The Simpsons, where it's Altamaha-ha.
Yeah, the bully?
Yeah.
What do you think, Mason? Spooky or kooky?
I think it's just a big sturgeon.
Here's the thing. I'm all for fun lake monsters and cryptids.
Yeah.
But this one just kind of sounds like it's a sturgeon. The fact that they're like, well, it looked like a sturgeon and it kind of was the same color as a sturgeon and it had sturgeon-like features, but it definitely wasn't a sturgeon makes me think it's a fucking sturgeon.
And I know, I just bashed on giant fish.
Right.
One story ago. But that one seemed silly, that it was giant fish biting people, killing humans. This one, it just sounds like a big sturgeon.
Yeah. It just sounds like a big old boy. A couple of big boys over the years.
Sturgeon can grow to be pretty big.
Just having some big boy fun, you know?
Yeah.
Causing a ruckus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kooky for me then.
Yeah.
Altie or Altamaha-ha does not pass on to the next round. No. It is the weakest link.
Yes.
You call it madness, but I call it love. This quote, Mason, fits the thinking of the subject of our next urban legend. The legend of Count von Cosel, the mad scientist. Legend goes that Count von Cosel was a German immigrant who arrived in Florida in 1930. He told stories of a castle and 9 degrees from the University of Leipzig. Soon after arriving, he found a job as an X-ray technician at the Marine Hospital. He apparently was so skilled, he was called doctor, and real doctors would leave cases in his care.
I'm sorry. Hold on, he wasn't a real doctor?
No.
I thought he had 9 degrees.
Yeah, well, we'll get into all that.
None of them were doctorate degrees?
Yeah, well, apparently not.
Art history degree?
They were like chemistry and like stuff like that, but not I don't know.
But you can have a doctorate.
I don't think he had a PhD in chemistry though. Probably had like an associate's.
Ah.
Yeah. A few months after getting settled, the Count, would meet Elena Hoyos Mesa, who was terminally ill with tuberculosis. The Count instantly fell in love and began to shower her and her poor family with gifts in hopes of winning the girl's heart and her hand in marriage. He was 63. She was 19. Elena was flattered and grateful for the gifts, but she was still legally married to a man she still loved, despite the fact that he had left her after a miscarriage.
Oh.
Yeah, this
Jesus
poor
Christ.
girl, man. But no matter how much Elena tried to discourage the mad doctor, he would not let up. He was determined.
So it's like a rom-com in the 80s. I don't want to date you. Come on.
Come on.
You're a loser. I don't want to date you.
But I'm a doctor. Everybody calls me doctor. This is
all right. I do love you. Yay. That's the good ending.
The thing is, the Count just pulled a Jeff from Community and faked his way to being a doctor. It sounds like.
It's true, he did.
You know, Jeff was a fake lawyer.
Yeah. He had a degree from Columbia.
Yeah.
Now he needs to get one from America.
Yeah. So, he would not let up. He was determined to make her his. He would later go on to state that he had been visited by an ancestor in a vision whilst at his castle, who showed him Elena and told him she was his soulmate. Elena kept her relationship with the Count platonic while she was alive, but as her condition worsened, the Count's love only grew stronger. He created an ultraviolet ray machine that reportedly brought her back from the brink of death on more than one occasion.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Jose,
yeah.
He created an ultraviolet ray machine.
Yeah.
That zapped away the tuberculosis just long enough for her to come back from death?
What I read was that apparently it would positively charge her electrons or some shit.
Sounds like some made-up sci-fi bullshit.
Yeah.
That sounds like it fixed her flux capacitor.
He also had secretly begun collecting locks of her hair, pieces of her lingerie, and created a wax mold of her face.
Okay, well, wait a minute. How did she get pieces of her lingerie?
That's the question, isn't it, Mason? It's the question I don't want answered, I don't think.
I'm going to need Japanese
for
science.
Next.
Oh.
You're a creep, aren't you? Yeah. I mean,
no.
But like a charming European creep. I mean, no, it's for science. What?
Do you have... Is that my face in the closet? Did you mold my face?
No,
are you cutting my hair?
That's not what... No, it's like I'm European. It's our customs. You wouldn't understand. It's a German thing.
Honestly,
in Deutschland, we do this a lot.
I wish it wasn't the 30s, so I could just go to a different doctor.
Yeah, well, too bad. Okay. Snip, snip. On Halloween night, 1931, Elena would breathe her last breath while watching the annual...
I assume she got scared and it scared all the breath out of her.
While watching the annual Ghost and Goblin Parade. They were like, this parade will take your breath away. And then it did. And they were like, oh, fuck.
I mean, listen, if I could die during a Ghost and Goblin Parade, I wouldn't be super mad.
That's fitting, yeah.
Yeah, right?
The Count tried to use his machine to bring her back, but it was too late. Elena had moved on to another plane of existence. At the Lopez funeral home that night, a deal was struck between the Count and Elena's father. The young woman...
Oh, no.
Right. The young woman would not be embalmed, and the Count would pay for a mausoleum in the Catholic portion of the city's cemetery. Her father agreed. But unbeknownst to him and the rest of Elena's family, the Count had the only keys to the mausoleum, and would visit Elena almost every night after her death.
Well, Mr. Count, I appreciate your offer, but honestly, I'm going to need you to do something more than the Protestant area of the graveyard. I'm going to be honest. Can you at least do could you do a Methodist?
Tell you what, I'll put her in the Catholic section. Yeah.
It's a little cheaper than I think she deserves, I'm going to be honest.
Well, I mean, what do you want? You want the Mormon section? You kidding me? I don't have that kind of money.
What about Baptist?
All right, man. You know what? You can keep the girl. I don't even care that much anymore. Fuck this.
Wait, okay.
It's Catholic or nothing, man.
Fine. We'll do the Catholic one.
Oh, okay, fine.
Just
God
saying,
damn.
it seems a
fucking
little cheap
grappling
for
over your daughter's fucking resting place. This guy.
9 fucking degrees, can't afford a goddamn, at least a Methodist burial.
What was that?
I said you have a silly fucking accent.
Yeah. I agree with you on that one, yeah.
You sound like a cartoon villain.
What makes you say that?
What is this ultraviolet ray called the tuberculosis senator?
Yeah, he also had a fucking platypus nemesis. Did I not mention that?
Barry the platypus? What are you doing here? I'm just trying to fuck this dead girl.
What are you, a platypus in a police costume? Barry the platypus in a police costume.
I shouldn't have besmirched that character like that.
No.
It cracks me up.
Barry the platypus, I'm just trying to fuck a dead girl. What's the big deal?
She's over 18.
So, technically it's not. When I was a child, because it always ties to his fucking childhood.
Like, that's the best I can do.
Nah, that's good.
Platypus noise,
Don Pinder, a photographer for the Key West Citizen, remembers seeing the Count visiting the cemetery. He was a boy then, but he recalls the Count would come almost daily in a black suit.
What were you doing?
Yeah, what the fuck
at the cemetery?
I was just
no
playing on
questions.
the grave. My publicist
I used to go there
advised
as a child, and every time I saw a funeral happening, I'd walk over and go, your family's dead.
Dude, my dad just died. What the hell?
Look at you with the dead dad. You are grating. You're a grating little boy. I saw the doctor go into the mausoleum with the dead girl. Go away from us. Okay.
Get out of here.
Okay.
Yeah, so he recalls the Count would come almost daily in a black suit.
Yeah, he would.
Fuck. Black hat, a black umbrella swinging, wearing white sneakers with no socks. Weird that he remembers like
either.
Fuck. It's weird that he remembers these details, right?
That's true. That's an awfully specific description of him.
Late at night, ghostly organ music would be heard coming from the mausoleum.
Oh.
It appears the Count would bring a radio or phonograph and play music to the dead Elena for hours.
No, you're talking about organ music as in the instrument, the organ, not like... Not
it
like
sounded a little like this.
Rearranging some organs.
Eventually, oh boy.
Yeah,
I think this is the most fucked up one we've done. Eventually,
well, to be fair, I'm still going off of all this that this isn't real.
Yeah.
Sorely disappointed.
Eventually, after 2 years of visiting the grave, von Cosel would no longer...
You're just fucking bones at that point.
Could no longer take it, and he decided to see Elena's face again. And so he opened the casket. Because you're wrong, Mason. He hadn't begun that. Not yet. He was just visiting her. He hadn't opened the casket at all. He was horrified when he discovered that Elena's putrefied body had begun to deteriorate. You know, like fucking bodies do.
Yeah.
Also bodies that aren't embalmed, especially.
What doctor is this asshole?
He's fucking not.
Well, okay, but he was good enough that other
right?
doctors
No,
were giving him his cases, but he was surprised that a dead body after 2 years was like icky.
He was a 1930s doctor. So
that's true.
He
Whoa,
tried.
This is what happens when you die.
Oh, what the fuck? Ew.
Gross.
He would then go on to be the person that was like, maybe let's just burn bodies. He tried to stop this with embalming fluids, but the decay continued. So he reached the totally logical and not at all crazy conclusion that he had to take the body back to his laboratory.
Maybe my cum will keep this body fresh forever.
Oh, fuck. And that's exactly what he did. He transported Elena's decaying corpse to his lab, which sat inside of a wingless airplane in Rest Beach. Kind of a cool spot for a lab.
Fuck me, I know this story. It's real. Oh,
yeah.
God.
Once there, he replaced the rotting flesh with oiled silk, beeswax, and balsam. He substituted her empty sockets with glass eyes. He had replaced her former beauty with ghoulish, frightening features. He then dressed the corpse with a wedding gown after he stuffed her body cavity with rags. He placed her on his canopy bed and serenaded her with a small church organ. Elena would remain with Count von Cosel for 7 years. Von Cosel believed that he could reanimate Elena's corpse with ultraviolet light. When this failed, he theorized that if he could move her remains to the stratosphere, she could be reanimated and rejuvenated, because that's how fucking science works.
He's just making shit up.
Yeah. Well, what if I dance on one foot while playing the violin? Maybe that'll bring her back.
The centrifugal force if I spin very fast. It should turn back time.
I just watched Superman 1970. Word had spread of von Cosel's strange behavior, so Elena's sister decided to investigate and paid the Count a visit. The Count was actually eager to show off his accomplishments, so he showed Elena's sister the corpse. Elena's sister was horrified and gave him a week to return the remains before she would go to the authorities. A bit generous there. I would have gone right away. When a week,
I just love in the guy's head. He was like, "You're going to love this.
Come here. I've got something to show you."
Okay.
Ta-da! Close your eyes. No, wait. No, it's okay. You can leave them open.
Oh.
What do you think?
Count.
And then he's like moving her mouth and he's like, "Hello, sister."
Count Van Cosel, I'm going to be completely honest with you. This is absolutely amazing.
Yes, thank you. Yes,
she looks just so...
Oh my God, thank you.
The way her glass eyes are facing different directions. And clearly stuck a bunch of... Is that glue? Did you glue a bunch of shit to her face?
Yeah, I got a little bored, so I just put like stars and macaroni and stuff.
It looks so good.
Right? Thank you. Oh my God. I'm so glad you love it. Well, I won't tell you what else I do with it. I'll stop here, I think. So,
what's your secret? Is it cum? Yes.
Yeah.
It's cum.
Oh, yeah. Elena's sister gave him a week to return the remains before she would go to the authorities. When a week passed and the Count still had Elena, her sister finally contacted the authorities, who then promptly investigated and arrested von Cosel. When
I love how instead of he just did nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you have a week or I'm calling the cops, and he's like, well...
I can do it. I'm kind of busy this week, so... I don't think I can make it. No, the night before, he's like, fuck, there was something I was supposed to... Oh, shit. Oh, no.
Elena, what was it that I had to do today? Oh, you don't know.
Open up.
Oh, Elena, did you invite people over?
This is the police.
Why are you
Give us
here?
the dead girl, doctor.
No, because there's not one.
Okay, we're gonna kick the door down.
No, it's an airplane, so you can't.
Oh, fuck, he's got us.
I don't want I want everyone to remember this is taking place in a wingless airplane.
Yeah, that's right, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
When they performed a second autopsy, they discovered the most disgusting detail of this whole story.
There's been a dick in this dead woman.
Von Cosel.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm the coroner. Sorry, I probably shouldn't have said that to you. I know you're her family, but...
Von Cosel was doing more than just playing dress-up with Elena's corpse. It seems the Mad Doctor had decided to consummate his love with what he deemed his bride. He fucked her, and he came inside her dead, rotting body.
He consummated with what he deemed his bride, with his penis, what he deemed Mr. Dickenstein. Now, it's funny because it's like Frankenstein.
In this essay, I will... Elena's corpse was put on display where hundreds came to see the strange girl. So it's fucking sad that they took the body away from him, and they were like, let's put this on display at the funeral home, and then hundreds came, and so she was just a tourist attraction.
Hey, you're in charge here, right?
Yeah.
This is the dead girl that got fucked, right?
Yeah, this is her.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, right?
I wouldn't mind slicing me a piece off of that, if you know what I'm saying.
What?
What?
What? Wait.
You got any more?
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. This is a total normal, respectable establishment that showcases rotting corpse. Get the hell out of here.
All right.
Strangely enough, because of the way the case was reported, one of the biggest things being that the coroners decided to leave out the detail of the count putting his little count inside of Elena, people were sympathetic to von Cosel, seeing this as a strange, tragic tale of love, probably due to the fact that they were unaware of the necrophilia that had occurred. The jury acquitted him, but not before asking, is it illegal to love too much?
You just knew someone was like, well, yeah, he dug it up, and that's disgraceful, but it's not like he was fucking it.
And the coroner's like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, anyway. The jury acquitted him. Despite being acquitted, the count was unsatisfied with the outcome of the trial and asked the judge if he could have the young woman's remains. The judge was disgusted and screamed at him that he was insane. Elena's body was buried in an unmarked grave at the request of the judge so that von Cosel could never find her again. Although it was originally reported that von Cosel died alone in 1952, this was not entirely the case. He was found with a life-size replica of Elena Hoyos Mesa, a mannequin reproduction that featured a death mask that he had made unknown to anyone. His final diary entry read, "Human jealousy has robbed me of the body of mine Elena, yet divine happiness is flowing through me, for she has survived death. Forever and ever she is with me, and I upgraded a vagina with a fleshlight." So now it's like, yeah. I hate that I said that.
I like it.
So, Mason, what do you think of the tale of Count von Cosel?
Fucking spooky.
I hate that. I hate it. It's spooky. It's gross. I hate it so much. This is a little controversial, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. I don't like necrophilia. It's yucky and gross.
Listen, I am a big proponent of once a body is dead, it doesn't matter. I don't agree with fucking corpses at all, though.
Look, I can agree with you that maybe eating a body is, that's a whole thing, but if you ate a body, that's fine. But if you fucked a body...
I'm saving that clip.
Damn it.
Yeah, you shouldn't fuck dead bodies.
No.
Don't fuck anything except live human beings who consent.
Yes. God, it is not that hard.
It's really not as hard as it sounds, but then again, I guess some people get hard for things that are hard. You know what I'm saying?
Well, as Mason said, I should let everyone know that this case is 100% real. It actually happened, almost exactly as I described it. And it's an event that is well known to the people of Florida. I should point out that the Count's real name was actually Carl Tanzler. And
he wasn't like a mysterious count who lived in a castle.
No, he was not a count. He was just a poor German immigrant who had traveled around.
Like a janitor at the hospital, wasn't he?
No, he actually was an X-ray technician. He had shambled his way to that. Yeah, he'd fucking conned his way into that. But he had traveled around the world trying to make himself into a scientist. And I think the degrees were legit, but they weren't doctorates. But
it's weird though. Yeah, it's weird that he got so many degrees but couldn't actually learn science.
Yeah. He had also left his wife and children in another part of Florida in search of his soulmate that had been promised to him by an ancestor in his vision. Yeah, it's kind of weird that the fucking coroner was like, you know what, this might be too much for these people. The jury who's trying to convict this man, it might be too much for them to know that he fucked her. A key thing that probably would have put this psychopath behind bars, but...
Well, to be fair, though, he didn't do it again.
He just did it for 7 years.
Well, yes, but you didn't do it.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean? You didn't find another body.
No, yeah, I guess.
He was so, to his credit, Jose, now I'm thinking about it.
There is no to his credit.
He wasn't just trying to fuck any dead body. He was so obsessed with this one girl that he just recreated a mannequin of her.
No. Yeah, but it had her dead parts in it.
Well, yes, but...
Anyway,
it wasn't. At least he didn't go find a new dead body to
Yes,
fuck.
I guess. Also, reportedly, Elena still haunts the funeral home of Bahama Lane, which I can see. She kind of had a bit of a shit run after death, so fair enough that she would...
Don't forget, this happened in Margaritaville.
He's been down to Margaritaville.
A dead body in a wingless airplane, and then 20 feet to the left, Jimmy Buffett is fucking...
Yeah.
Oh, Florida, you fucking crazy ass state.
It's fucking insane. Remember that one? We also talked about another mad doctor, the one who would just experiment on people that was also real. And then he moved to Florida and he killed his wife and his cat and then himself.
Oh, yes, that was in our California series, wasn't it?
No, it was... I think it was in the Midwest. I think it was Ohio or some shit.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think you're right. Yeah, anyway. Doctors are nuts, man.
People be crazy.
Yeah, they do.
Our next legend begins centuries ago in the time after the end of the Civil War. There was a freed slave woman who has been named as either Mary or Lumidla Clark. She had come down from Georgia and set up shop as a midwife in the growing town of Wauchula. She was very good at her job and her reputation quickly grew. But it seemed this woman was not the caring and kind person many thought. Her reasoning is debated. Some believe she did what she did because she was concerned with the overpopulation of the area, like Thanos, or whether the family...
Damn it, Jose. You stupid fucking nerd.
I want that to be in a book. I want that to be in a history book. They were concerned with the overpopulation of the area, much like the Mad Titan Thanos in the Avengers movies.
It just sounds you're the worst history teacher that's hey kids, this guy was kind of like Thanos.
Shut up.
Shut up, nerd.
Or whether the families could provide for the children they were bringing into the world, or as others believe, because she had never recovered from the horrors of slavery and the act of her children being ripped from her and sold never to be seen again by her.
That is interesting, because they talk about what made serial killers in the 70s, and it is probably very interesting to know how many basically serial killers slavery could have created from children who grew up in just the worst, things ever.
Yeah. Regardless of her reasoning, the legend states that over time she began to deliver more and more stillborn children. But this was not by accident. It seems that the midwife was smothering the babies upon their birth and convincing the families that they had been stillborn.
Oh, this is a tippy toe. We're going to tippy toe into this bit. But it is. Just can you imagine the baby's crying as it's been delivered? And then 10 minutes later, she's like, oh,
it died.
It was stillborn.
It was stillborn. And they're like,
we heard it cry. And
she's like, no, that was me. I was
crying because it was stillborn. I was sad.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, I'm going to go dump your fucking baby's body somewhere.
I'm gonna walk myself off this tight wire.
The families were distraught and asked her to remove the remains and any evidence a child was born due to fear of what others might think, as miscarriages were a bit frowned upon because it was the worst time to be alive if you weren't a white man, She would take the remains.
God damn it.
Which is funny because miscarriages were pretty commonplace in the 1800s, but still people were like, oh, you had a miscarriage or a stillbirth? You fucking suck.
I'm just tired of all hearing about all these miscarriages. I want to know when we're going to get a Mr. Carriage.
Yeah.
Men's rights. Jose, that's what I'm here to talk about.
In the 1800s, they're like, we need more rights. Men don't have rights. Everybody else is like, fuck you.
We call it a miscarriage because it's your fault for being a lady.
That's what you get for being a woman.
That's not... Well, hush or you'll do it again. It's all the strain from thinking.
I told you not to wear those pantaloons.
It constricts the airflow. No air could get up your pussy into the baby.
You know they thought that, too. They definitely thought that, right?
It's like it's such a joke, I fucking swear to God, if we had a time machine, we could have convinced this entire
We could have said that, and then
science.
we could have gone back and said that, and no one would have batted an eye. Like, men around us would have been like, I
hadn't even thought about that. The baby needs air. How else does it live?
Right.
I mean,
you shouldn't wear panties anymore.
Fucking the worst.
She would take the remains of the babies in a bucket filled with the corpse and other contents from the birth and dump the bloody contents off a bridge down by the river.
That bucket only costs you $19.99 at KFC now.
Oh, no.
That was more of a KFC joke.
No, I got it, yeah.
This is tough, Jose, I'm going to be honest. The bucket filled of baby corpses is real hard to do something with.
Right, yeah. She was eventually found out and lost her position. This drove her mad, and she began to lose her grip on reality. But not the buckets. She held onto those buckets.
She was so sane before this.
Yeah, right, yeah. Claiming to see the buckets fill up with blood and seeing the river run red at night. She soon began to hear the cries of the children she had murdered. She traveled to the bridge more and more, trying to comfort the voices of the children, but also dumped the contents of her buckets, which continued to fill with blood. It seems that on one of these trips, she fell into the river. Oh, shit!
Son of a bitch!
Time to dump this blood out. Whoa!
The irony is palpable!
Whether she lost her footing or committed suicide is unknown. But what is known is that the river ran red with blood after her death for days.
She was found out and fired, but she didn't go to jail?
Nope, apparently not. Legend states...
Well, don't do it again.
You know what? Put your hands out. Bad. Bad. Now get out of here.
You're lucky I don't give you one for every baby you killed.
And no PlayStation for tonight.
No PlayStation.
Legend states that if you travel to the bridge on a full moon, you too will see the river run red with blood and hear the cries of the babies who died at her hand. What do you think, Mason? Spooky or kooky?
I think it was spooky because I don't know.
The details are iffy, but
it's it's like a fun actual legend where, like the river runs red and you can hear, that's fun. That's a different thing. It's not just like she haunts that place.
Right.
So. Also, a bunch of ghost babies wouldn't be scary, so I suppose that makes sense.
I'll kick a baby ghost. I don't care.
I would. Well, there was that one weird demon baby that we covered. That one was kind of scary.
Oh, yeah. That one was fun. I liked that one.
But just like if there was just like, because
it
wouldn't be able to haunt you, it'd be like, oh my god, what a great idea for a sitcom, right? A family, a boy, a husband and wife move into an 1800s style house, right?
Uh-huh.
But they don't want children. They refuse to have children. But then they find a ghost baby. They got to take care of it.
Oh, there you go.
They got to take it to ghost school.
They call it
baby. Ghost baby.
Ghost baby.
It's a ghost baby.
Yeah, there you go. It's a ghost baby. There you go.
Yeah.
We here at Captain's Log are no strangers to stories of evil, possessed dolls. We have previously covered The Conjuring's very own Annabelle the doll and her true origins. But this next legend is the haunted doll story. Long before Annabelle, there was the inspiration for what was the source of many of my nightmares as a child, Chucky of Child's Play fame. This is the story of Robert the Doll. The story...
Dick the Doll.
What'd you say?
Dick the Doll.
Dick the Doll. Dick Doll. The doll's dick.
Wait a minute. That's a vastly different thing.
The story of Robert dates back to the early 1900s, when a young boy named Eugene Robert Otto was given a one-of-a-kind homemade doll by a servant of his family.
Now, when you say servant, I guess it was the 1900s, so
it was a servant, not
just
slave.
A servant.
Right, yeah. So,
kind of a fucking dumbass.
Eugene, who was called Gene by everyone, gave Robert his own name, and quickly became very attached to the new doll. The home where Eugene... Imagine, like, naming your dog Mason.
Yeah.
I'm Mason, and this is Mason.
We're Mason.
We're the Masons.
Are you talking about me or the dog?
Mason, yeah. And you and the dog both look.
Yeah. Do you have snacks for me? What about for him?
What about for Mason?
You have to have snacks for both Mason and Mason when you come into my house. Which is Mason. This is Mason's apartment.
And that works in both ways. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The home where Eugene grew up, now called the Artist's House, is located at 534 Eaton Street. It was here where the strangeness around Robert began. The first hint...
So Robert is the doll, Eugene is the boy,
kid,
correct?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
just wanted to make sure.
The first hint that perhaps Robert was not all that he seemed came one night when Gene, who was 10 years old at the time, woke up to Robert sitting at the foot of his bed despite the fact that he had been placed in another part of the room when Gene first went to bed. Moments later, his mother would be awoken by the sounds of Gene screaming for help and the sound of furniture being overturned. When she was finally able to force the locked door open, she found her son curled up in fear on his bed, his room in shambles, and Robert sitting at the foot of the bed. Robert did it were the only words Gene could get out, and the words that would be repeated over time as strange occurrences continued to happen.
Gene, we like Robert did it, but here at Nike, we think that we could maybe do something a little different, okay? We just feel like Robert did it is very specific to Roberts, and it's a past tense thing. We want them to actively be trying to do things.
How about Robert is doing it?
Okay, why don't you leave?
Aw.
I'm gonna be honest, though. I mean, that guy kind of sucks, but honestly, Robert's doing it. If you just doing, what about doing it?
What about, like, just do it?
What about not just do it, but what about just do it? Were you saying
That's
just do it, or
I don't know. Whichever one. What do you think? Whichever one.
I think we're gonna be rich.
Fuck yeah. This episode of Captain's Log is brought to you by Nike.
Nike.
Robert is doing it.
Sports.
Do the sports.
They did support Colin Kaepernick, but they also make... Actually, I don't know if I can say that. Let's move on.
Gene's parents would often hear their son conversing upstairs, seemingly by himself in two different voices. They reported sometimes seeing the doll's expression change.
I'm Gene, and I'm Robert!
No, it's just like, I'm Gene.
And I'm fucking Robert.
And they're like, no, that sounds just like our son.
Hey, Mom, it's me, Robert. I just came here to get some mac and cheese.
I just want some fucking Little Caesars. Could you possibly do that for me,
I
doll?
was purposely trying to avoid bringing this character back, Jose.
It's me, that one fucking demon that's haunted everybody across this entire fucking podcast. I'm back. But now I'm in a
pizza
doll.
demon. What's up?
Fuck yeah.
You
Give me
got
some...
any Little Caesars for me?
What are the name of those, like, New Orleans, like, little donut thingies, beignets or some shit like that? Give me some of those.
I want some beignets.
You know those little donuts?
I know what you're talking about. I
beignets
don't know
or-
why you're talking about them.
I don't know, because it's the South. Maybe that's why I thought. I looked up... no, not bunions. Hang on. Treats? Bunyan's treat. No! Fuck it, forget this.
Seems not important, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, he would sometimes be heard giggling and even sighted running up the stairs or staring out of the upstairs window.
Okay, but all of that stuff is relatively normal things for a child to do with a doll, though, right?
No, the doll would be seen doing these things by itself.
Oh, that's not normal.
No. Whatever, you see a doll walk up the stairs, doesn't everybody? No,
Listen,
Mason.
I don't give a shit about that. That doll better be paying fucking rent, though. That's
if you
what I
are
know for
alive,
sure.
you gotta fucking contribute. You gotta wash the
Yes.
dishes, you gotta sweep every once in a while. I don't care if you're fucking possessed by a demon. You want to stay here.
And now you're just a fucking doll, Robert.
Yeah, fuck you, Robert.
Huh? You're fucking running around doing all this crazy bullshit, and when I fucking start talking about how you need to be paying your fucking bills and doing some fucking laundry and dishes, suddenly you're just a fucking... You're Toy Story-ing me, huh? Whenever I walk in the room, you drop down.
Fuck you, Robert. You're a prick.
Fuck you. You piece of shit, Robert.
You're a fucking mooch, Robert. You know that?
Fucking dickhead doll.
Robert continued to live with Jean throughout his life, and when Jean married and his wife and him moved into his old home after the deaths of his parents, strange events continued to take place.
Hello, I'm Jean. God, sorry, I don't normally approach women at the bar, but you just look so beautiful tonight. What can I possibly ask what your name is? My name's Robert. Oh, I'm sorry. That's my doll, Robert. That's a long story. He's just a doll that follows me everywhere. Anyway, what was your name?
Let's fuck right now.
You got a nice ass! Okay, jeez, Robert, enough, buddy.
Let's have a threesome, you, me, and the fucking doll. Let's do this. Jean decided that the doll needed his own room and placed him upstairs in a room overlooking the road.
I think Jean's crazy.
I think so, too. Anne felt uneasy with the doll in the house, although she couldn't figure out why. This is Jean's wife.
I just don't... I wanted to get an elliptical, and you said we didn't have the room, and then you
well, we don't have the room. What, am I going to put the fucking elliptical in Robert's room? What are you, fucking crazy?
Sweetie, Robert's a doll. He doesn't need... What does he need?
Can you imagine Robert fucking running it using the elliptical? He's in great shape. Why would he use it? Oh, man.
Our son's
Let's have sex.
In our bedroom.
Kid, get out of the bed. I'm going to fuck your mom for a little bit. I like that Jean. My impression of Jean gives off like Tom Cruise energy with that.
Oh yeah,
the laugh.
Yeah.
Come on, and he like jumps up on the couch and he's like,
yeah.
So she asked Jean to lock up the doll in the attic so it could be out of sight and out of mind. Jean gave in and moved Robert, who apparently was not happy with this at all. Soon, visitors to the home reported hearing footsteps upstairs, the sounds of devilish giggling, and children who lived in the area reported the doll mocking them as they walked to school from the window of the upstairs bedroom. Ah, you fucking idiot, you gotta go to school, fuck you, fucking flipping him off. Oh man.
Jesus, that doll's really mean.
He's a fucking rude guy. Yeah, fuck you. Your mom's a MILF. I'd fuck her. Ha ha ha.
You can't leave. You're stuck in the upstairs.
Oh, yeah? Your mom comes to me, bitch.
Oh.
And let me just say, she doesn't just come to me. She comes for me. Yeah, fuck you, kid. What are you, like 10?
Yeah.
Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that to you. I'm sorry. That was... You probably didn't need to hear all that. I'm so sorry.
You're a doll.
Yeah, but this doll fucks your mom. Fuck you, kid.
Oh, I thought we were maybe going to be friends.
No.
After you did that apology thing, I thought...
Well, I mean, are you okay with, like, your friends fucking your mom? Because I'm not going to stop fucking your mom.
No.
Okay, then we can't be friends. Get the fuck out of... Scram. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
Fucking idiot. Fucking 10 years old and a virgin? Get the fuck out of here, kid.
I left already.
When Jean heard this, he immediately went up to investigate, knowing that he had locked Robert in the attic and it was impossible for him to be out in the upstairs bedroom.
It's a fucking doll. It's a fucking doll. It can't fucking be in the bedroom.
No fucking way. No way.
Gene, he's like looking at himself in the mirror. Gene, I'm telling you, you know this for a fact, because you're not fucking... Hey, Gene, you're not fucking crazy. And you know for a fact that you locked an inanimate object, a doll, up in the attic. So you're going to go in, you're just going to walk up in there, you're going to look in that room, and there's not going to be a fucking doll there, because... How could there be? Because you locked it in the attic, and the doll can't fucking move.
He opens the door, and it's just sitting on the fucking chair.
I probably just put it there. I'm gonna leave it though. Okay, I'll see you later, Robert. Oh shit.
Oh fuck. But to his surprise, when he opened the door to the bedroom, there was Robert, sitting on the rocking chair by the window. Jean would go on to lock Robert in the attic several times, only to find him in the upstairs bedroom sitting by the window every time.
Get rid of the doll.
It's almost just fucking burn it.
Just leave the doll in the upstairs bedroom. It doesn't seem like it's really doing that much. It doesn't seem like it's causing much of a problem.
I mean, it's fucking your neighbor's wife, but whatever. That's not your business.
That's between
him, your neighbor, his wife, and Robert.
Well, and the doll, yes.
Yeah.
You're fucking my wife, Gene? What? No, not me. Robert is.
And then they both walk in, and the doll's in bed with the wife, and he's just smoking a cigarette. He's like,
oh, I was thinking it was more like he walks in, and Gene, like, busts through the door with the other guy, and he's like, Robert, you got some explaining to do. And it's just he's talking to a doll, and the other guy's just like, and he's just, like, backing out of the room, like, I don't know what's happening here, but I don't want any fucking part of it.
Gene Otto died after his wife in 1974, and the house was bought by new owners who had a 10-year-old daughter. She was delighted when she found Robert in the attic, but her delight would soon change to fear. She would go on to claim that Robert was alive and was trying to hurt her. She would wake up in the middle of the night and scream for her parents, telling them Robert had moved about the room. After 20 years with this new family, he was given away in the 90s.
Get rid of the fucking doll!
That part fucking threw me. I was like, no fucking way am I going to stay with this fucking doll that's telling my daughter it's going to kill her.
Listen, even as a parent who
fucking
it's like,
years.
You know, you're like, yeah, okay, sweetie, the doll's telling you things.
Yeah, fucking throw the doll away. I mean?
Still, just throw the doll away.
I would just be like, here's the solve, and I'd grab the doll and I'd go put him in the garbage. Yes. And then if he showed up again in my house, I would take the doll and I would burn it.
And then if he showed up a third time, I'd be like, listen here, you... That doll's gonna fucking kill you, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Hey, look, I'm sorry, I did my best.
It's not. Listen, stop fucking dragging me into this, you little fucking snitch, okay? That doll's not trying to kill me. I'm not worried about it.
Doll said it was after you, not me, so fuck off. After 20 years with his new family, he was given away in the 90s to East Martello Fort, where he currently resides. Many believe that Robert's evil originated with a servant who gave him to Gene.
Hello, wait, is that a man?
East Martello Fort?
Yes.
No, it's like it's a museum.
Oh, it's a place. Okay, yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
Hello, I'll take this doll off your hands.
Hello, I have the name of a building.
Hello, I'm Chrysler. Chrysler Building. I'm Empire. Empire State.
Sears Tower. Nice to meet you.
So many believe that Robert's evil originated with the servant who gave him to Jean, who was supposedly mistreated by her bosses and wanted to punish them. She was a practitioner of voodoo and black magic, and it seems that Robert's desire to torment and taunt people still remains, as people who visited him at the museum claim to be unable to photograph him sometimes or see him smile or move behind his case. Others believe that much like with Annabelle, if you upset or insult him, harm will befall you. You can visit Robert the Doll at the East Martello Museum, but be careful that you don't upset him, or the consequences may be deadly. Mason, what do you make of Robert the Doll? Spooky or kooky?
I mean, it's definitely spooky, but he didn't really do much, and nobody really did much about him.
And he didn't, everybody was just like, there's Robert fucking wrecking a room, but he never actually hurt anybody.
Bad roommate.
He was just like an asshole. He was like, you know what? You fucking looking at me. I'm gonna fucking hurt you. I'm gonna fucking hurt you and your fucking parents. Fuck you.
Yeah.
But then he never did it.
That's just, that's Robert. Yeah, he barely even comes out of his room, but he's kind of an asshole when he does.
Also, he's like a soft doll, so what's he gonna do? Punch me? It's like a teddy bear.
That's true. I feel like I could throw him out a window pretty easily.
But yeah, he inspired Child's Play, which for a long time as a kid, I fucking hated Chucky. I was so scared of him. Well, with that, it's time to wrap the show up. If you like the show, make sure to leave a 5-star review, which you can do in-app on Apple Podcasts, Audible, or Podchaser. If you leave a review on Podchaser, they will donate 25 cents to Wheels on Meals for every review and for every reply to a review. So
we'd some people.
Yes. So we'd really appreciate it if you left us a review, because it really helps the show, and we'll read your review on the show.
It's free.
It's free for you.
You can donate 25 cents to Meals on Wheels for free.
For free. You can support the show by going to patreon.com/captainslogcast and donate $1. Anything helps keep the lights on.
Actually, if you do it while at work, you'll actually make money.
Yeah, there you go.
So, I mean, it's a win-win.
Yeah. Another thing you could do to help the show and yourself is go over to Teepublic and shop our merch. Yes, That's right. We have merch. You can get anything from t-shirts to mugs with our logo on it. Teepublic will be having a sale every week this month, so now is the time to buy, folks. Remember, if you donate/support our sponsors, it all goes towards improving the show, getting better recording equipment, etc. Mason, where can the fine listeners find you?
You can find me... Oh, shit, I didn't think of something fun to say like normal. I will be having a new podcast coming out soon called Iowa... Shit, I should probably know what the name of the podcast is. Called Corn-Fed Iowa, where me and a buddy of mine will be reviewing different eateries in Iowa.
Oh.
And talking about that.
Listen to this guy, huh?
That'll be wherever you can find podcasts. And even if you don't live in Iowa, we'll still have content for you about about fun places to eat, things like that. It'll be great. I will update you next week when the first episode will be out.
I'm fucking excited for this. I will be listening. Yes, sir.
Yes, it will be a lot of fun.
Well, you can also follow him on Twitter and Mason Schrader. He always forgets to mention that weird little guy. Yeah.
Because I never use it.
Well, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at j.valle_jr. and the show on Twitter at Captain's Logpod. We recommend, on Twitter and Instagram, we recommend various different materials on there, post show updates, and post some occasionally funny things. So go check it out. You can also subscribe on YouTube, where you can find me as Jose Valle Jr., Animal Productions, and of course the show's official YouTube channel, Captain's Log. If you can't get enough of me, you can also listen to my other podcast with friend of the log, Max Benyon, called Max and Jose Have Something to Say. Yeah, we just talk about stuff. It's fun. Mason was on an episode. It was a really good episode, actually. Yeah. So make sure to tell your friends and family about this show if you enjoy it, and if you'd like to share your favorite urban legends that didn't make the cut, or perhaps if you had encounters with any of the legends we discussed, please do so by writing into captainslogcast@gmail.com. You can also suggest episode topics, guests you'd like to have back, etc. Make sure to subscribe and download on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Play, and any other podcast directory. Thanks to Carlos Rivera for composing the show's theme. And with that, everybody, we have reached the end of our show. We'll see you soon for another special episode. I've been your Captain Jose Valle Jr., joined by...
First Officer Mason Schrader.
And this has been Captain's Log. End of transmission.
Boop, boop.